I love when coaches, consultants, and professional service providers want to do big things in their business. They want to rise to the top and influence their market and the world around them. They want to have a greater impact and make a more lucrative income. Well, if this is you, welcome to Expert in You Podcast, the show where I interview other experts and coaches, consultants, so that they can share their success strategies with you. We're going to talk about marketing and how to close more sales, how to get more premium clients, and how to really build your visibility in the market and scale your business like a boss. If this is you, welcome to the show. I want to ask you to subscribe and hit the notification bell right now so you don't miss one episode. Grab your coffee and buckle up because we are ready to give it all to you to help you become the expert and get paid as the expert that you are. Hi everyone, it's Carden. Welcome back to another episode of Expert in You Podcast. And this week, I'm really excited for my guest because she's going to be bringing some new things to the table for you, some new strategies. And Suzanne Dwyer is with me today. Welcome, Suzanne.
Thank you so much for having me, Anne. I appreciate it.
I'm excited to have you here. She's doing some really great things in the coaching space, in the business coaching space in particular. But she is the founder and CEO of Be a Beacon in Your Industry. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
And she works with startups and small business owners who really are looking to really get started in incubators, so to speak. So what I wanted to do is let her talk a little bit about her journey. As we were chatting, I found out that she actually has a lot of experience, which really warmed my heart because there are a lot of people selling business coaching that don't, just to put that out there. And she does come with a lot of experience. She's owned businesses. And so, Suzanne, why don't you just tell us a little bit about your journey first, and let's learn more about you.
Absolutely. I've actually been in the business development and marketing space for over 20 years. But prior to getting into coaching and consulting, I actually owned a marketing firm, ran that marketing firm very, very successfully. Decided that I was coaching and consulting while also trying to do fulfillment marketing, which is the definition of doing too much. Right. So I decided to kind of make that shift over, give myself some more time, to, be a mom and actually really focus on how I can help more companies. And I knew that in coaching and consulting, I could. So I sold off the pieces of my marketing firm to the managers in each department, allowing them to kind of each run their own organization, coach them through to make sure that those organizations stuck, and they did. And just focused in on coaching and consulting because, I'm also a female. So I'm really good at telling people what to do, right? Like we're awesome at that.
You know what I say, when we were young, we were told we were bossy. Now we're leaders, right?
We're leaders. Exactly. It's like, well, there's a difference. Okay.
I love it. Go ahead.
Oh, so I was going to say, so when COVID hit, I primarily worked with Fortune 500 companies. But then when COVID hit, I was no longer traveling. So now I had this available time, and I saw that there was so many people in like the startup and small business space that were begging for help, and they're not getting anything because as soon as everything hit, all these wonderful resources really dried up. And for the resources that were still there, unfortunately, people were price gouging, and they didn't have it in their budgets anymore because they were forced to be closed. So I put an offer out there. I gave away my strategy sessions for free, put the link out there for about 2 weeks, and we had over 90 calls booked with people that were looking for the help. And then I helped as many as I could. And then they kept coming back and saying, hey, this worked, but now we need help here and here. And I was like, give me like a week. And within a week, with a lot of meditating and a lot of drinking, I was able to create our first course. And now that's led us to Beacon, where now we have 4 different course levels, a mastermind, coaches that are trained and certified with us, as well as also a bunch of strategic partners, referral partners, and affiliates as well that we work with. And, it's doing amazing things now.
I love it. One of the reasons I wanted Suzanne on here is because she is doing something that a lot of coaches and consultants don't do, and that is build a company. They build a job, and they don't really build an organization and a support system. And she is actually building coaches under her so that it frees her up and it allows her to keep working on the business and really grow the business and be a CEO. Do you coach as well, Suzanne?
So I do have very minimal clients at this point because I am going to be transitioning solely out of coaching and consulting and letting Beacon be my full time, because with the content, which is constantly changing, as well as all the PR campaigns that we're doing, I have to travel a lot. So I don't compete with my coaches. All of the coaches that work with us, I don't compete with them. They're the experts. I'm there to just be the support for the coaches, and I'm there to be support for the small business owners as they grow and flourish and get to our mastermind. When they're at their mastermind level, that's when they re-engage with me and our full commander team at that point.
I love it. So it's really important to understand that you do have opportunities and you have different ways that you can structure your business and build your business. And I've built a lot of companies and you've built companies, and I've always had lots of employees and people working under me where I could be removed from the business. And it's really important. In my coaching business, as I told you, I work at a higher level. So I work with fewer clients. And I don't need the same support system that I have. And I'm also close to retirement. So not that I'm going to give that up, but I have a very different mindset about how I want my business to be. But I still have a team. I still have a support system. I don't do everything myself. I coach. That's the thing I love to do. And I build content and I market my business and I'm the face of my business. And so it's important that you see different ways to structure this and the way that you can build your business, because most people only think about an income. And so I love what you're doing. I love it. And you're able to reach more people and impact more people. And you are so right. Right now, I think through the pandemic, we just saw, oh my gosh, just this explosion of people coming into business and starting to create, a life for themselves. But as you know, and I know, most people have no idea how to build a business, and they need people like you. If that is where your heart is, they need people like you that can really help them start the right way, get the right foundational pieces in place, and really grow that into something that's life-changing. So good, great job. Great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
And she's got some really great things coming up. She also has a podcast she's getting ready to launch in March, she said, and she's got something else she swore me to secrecy that I can't talk about, but it's very cool as well. So definitely follow her. But Suzanne, let's talk about your business and the structure. One of the things that you mentioned, I mean, you literally just kind of pivoted, and we've heard that word a lot, right? But you really just spun on a dime when COVID hit, and all of a sudden, everything that you were doing had to be changed, and you made some shifts. You said that you had people coming to you. Did you already have an audience built? Did you already have followers? How did people just come to you and say, "Oh, we need help here"?
I was very blessed. I was actually, when COVID hit, the companies that I worked with, I still work with. So I still had all of my larger corporations, but I didn't have to travel to them anymore. So I was lucky to be able to keep that stream of revenue coming in while I was building Beacon. And with Beacon, it was when I put that first initial call out there, I apparently had a small business audience that I didn't even know was following me, which most business coaches do, because they're looking for, I call them the table droppings. What kind of information are you going to drop that they're going to want to pick up on immediately and try to implement that in their business? So you'd be surprised on how many followers you would actually have in that space if you know what you're doing. If you are great in your space and you give good content and you have great content going out, you'd be surprised on how many small businesses actually do follow you. It's just not something that most people will look to unless that's their key audience. But I had a following already there. So I literally put it out organically on my social media channels. And that was it. After that, it was 90 calls.
So what was that first post or that first engagement that you put out there for people? Do you remember what it was?
Oh, absolutely. Yep. It was a video. So I put together a video and I said, listen, we're in a time where it's incredibly difficult for startups and for small businesses. You guys are being forced to, pivot like Ross on Friends right now. And you're screaming and you don't know what to do and you don't know how to handle the situation. I want to help you. So I typically charge $1,500 for my strategy sessions, but I'm going to be giving that away to you guys absolutely for free. Don't worry. I have nothing to sell you. Literally, I just want to help. I have nothing to sell you. I don't have a program. I don't have a course. I don't have anything to sell you. I just want to help you come up with your pivot plan. Let me do that for you. You get a free call with me for an hour and we'll figure out what your strategy is going to be moving forward. And that was it. Just short, sweet, and to the point, and gave him a booking link with a form to fill out. And that was it.
Led with value. Led with value. We talk about that all the time. So that's amazing. That's great. And so then from there, how do you turn those free people into paying people? Because this is a big problem out there. People feel like they're giving. And there's a lot of freeple people is what I've heard someone say. And I think that's, fairly accurate. How did you turn those into paying clients? And then if you don't mind sharing, what was that amount that, they were paying you to work with them?
Absolutely. So for the people that came back to look for more assistance, as soon as I said, okay, we've got a course, we've got something for you, this is what it's going to be. At that time, it was $5.99. Now we're at $9.97 because we were in that like kind of initial launch stage. So I was like, yep, it'll be $5.99. You can do a 2-pay, whatever you guys need to do. Kept it really reasonable. But we used that time to make the tweaks and adjustments while still giving them the value that they needed, which I felt was very important. But now we've changed quite a bit. So we do offer, freebie support, of course, because you have to.
Sure.
But we kind of go from our method is basically a webinar or retreat, depending on the person. Because some people want I want to do this at my pace, at my time, by myself. Or you've got the people who are like, I need to be part of a community. So we wanted to give both options. So we have those two streams that come in that way. And then from there, we funnel them up. We have our lifeguard team, which is our salespeople and support. We're a beachy themed company, so everyone has like some type of a beachy style name, or even our calls are chart your course calls.
I love it. Great branding. Good.
Right. So we kind of transition them through there, and then from the freebie stuff, from like the webinar or from the retreat. From there, they can team up with either a coach, or they can talk with one of our lifeguard team members, or they can jump right into one of our courses at that point. They can jump into Be Beacon Startups or get into Doc 1 right away, depending on if they've already started their organization. And we have automation that kind of feeds them through that process just to make sure that we don't have any fall-offs. But we are very, very specific on what we teach. That is what used to be called the lighthouse method of marketing, which is where Be a Beacon comes in. Our brand is a lighthouse. Lighthouse method of marketing is now known as, of course, attraction marketing. So it's all about creating the value and drawing them in like a magnet. So as long as you continue to create that value, just like you had said, create the value, they will be drawn into that value, and they will understand the value as long as you're creating the proper value proposition, which we pride ourselves on doing. We make sure that we keep our prices really inexpensive. It's for them to go through our entire course. It's under $6,000 for them to get all the way up to breaking 6 figures. So we make sure we keep it very, very, very reasonable throughout the entire transition. And then all of our coaches that work with us, they're able to then work with each of these people inside of their group settings independently. And at that point, they set their own prices for that. We don't do anything with that. We also have our commanders, which we pass people off to when they've kind of graduated from our masterminds. And then they go into heavy level strategic developments for whatever field that they're in at that point. So we make sure that we're adding value consistently, and we have a lot of free resources that they can get from our website. They can get free resources on our Facebook pages and our Facebook groups. We make sure to give them the stuff in those places so that we can kind of pre-vet them and make sure that we're not spending too much time and energy on the people that are chasing the freebies. If they're going to chase the freebies, by all means, you can sit in our Facebook group. You're going to get some free information there. But eventually you're going to realize that if you want true value and if you want your business to grow, You're going to have to take that next step. And if they don't, that's that, right?
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. So how did you decide on the different levels? So how long does someone stay with you when they first come in and they're working that first level? And by the way, Doc One, that is so cute. I mean, I love it.
Thank you.
That is awesome branding. So how long do they stay with you in that initial phase before they can, and then do they keep buying, or do you sell them the whole thing? How do you have that structured?
So we have basically the way that it works is that they can come in at the startup level, or they can come in at Doc One level. So if they're already established as a business, they come one way or the other. They don't need to come through the startup course if they're already established. The startup course is a self-run course, so they kind of go at their own pace. Some people do it in 2 weeks, some people do it in a month, but it's 16 lessons that we give them to make sure that they have a lot to take care of, to make sure that they're building in profit-bearing space before they develop the company. It's super important. Then when they get into Doc One, it's 8 weeks for Doc One, 8 weeks for Doc Two, 8 weeks for Doc Three. And then when they get into the Yacht Club masterminds, that's an ongoing.
That's great. So when people come to you, are they already coming with their business ideas, or are you helping them with that?
They're coming with ideas already.
Okay.
So a lot of the companies that we do work with, they'll be business license companies, or they'll be the idea incubator, where they'll help them come up with the idea and solidify the idea, and then we'll help them actually actualize the idea.
Implement it. Great. Okay. I love it. So you have coaches that work under you. That was one of the things we were having a conversation about. And you said you really vet your coaches. And one of the things, why do coaches come to work under you when they could be building their own business? I would love to. I know the answer, but let's share that. Why would someone want to work, basically a job, under your company when they could be doing it for themselves? What's the reason?
Absolutely. So all of the coaches that work with us are business coaches that want the least amount of work, which everyone does, right? So we've created the systems. We do the automation. We even post in the Facebook groups. We handle all of the overhead. We handle all of the minutia, if you will, of running the business. We set up the automation emails, the automation texts. We make sure that everything is set up for them completely. We set up all of their profiles, everything to be posted. They have their own Facebook group and Facebook page that we create for them. We actually make sure the content is constantly in there. They just have to engage people. That's it. And we automate the entire cohort. It's a group of 20 people. So they run everything. It breaks down to them working only about 3 hours a week, 2 hours on a call, 1 hour a week in engaging and updating information. 3 hours a week for an 8-week cycle. And in Doc One, they make $10,000. So it's very minimal work. And it's a feeder system now for their organization, where they don't want to have to create a course. They don't want to have to create a system. They want to do the one-on-one work. So they use this time that's already pre-set up to create the relationship that they need for people to pay them their value when they're done with their cohorts. Some people jump off in Doc One and are ready to work with a coach one-on-one right away. Some go through all 3 doc levels. Everybody is very different, but we want to make sure that you're creating the relationship. And that's what Beacon does. So we're not white labeled. We are in addition to what the coach offers. That's it. So we're giving them a value proposition that they're able to offer to their clients without them having to do any of the heavy lifting.
I love it. So basically you're giving a turnkey system for them to engage in. And then that from there, they're actually getting their own clients. Is that what I'm hearing? So there's
a combination. Yep. So
okay.
They advertise, but we give them literally everything that they need. They're able to run their own retreats. They have their own webinars. They have their own sales funnels. Everything that they would need, they have all of their automation to be able to email out to people, so they can put in their email marketing lists. We give them the Facebook group. We show them how to grow that. And we also we train them in additional sales and marketing outside, over and above what it is that we're doing inside of Beacon. to show them how to grow their brands while also simultaneously growing their reach inside of Beacon. So we teach them how to do all of those things, and we give them ongoing support throughout. Plus, we have a ton of corporate channels. We have our commanders, we have our affiliates, and we have our referral partners that refer clients to us. They come to the corporate site, and then from there, they're able to choose the coach they want to work with based off of that coach's expertise. And they can join into a cohort that way as well. So it's kind of a dual effort at that point.
Fantastic. I absolutely love what you're doing. And what a great way. I mean, you're reaching the people, the startups with the incubator, and then you're taking them to higher levels, but you're also working with coaches to help them build a successful business. And, you know, very much like what we were talking about earlier, a lot of coaches can help other people in their business, but they struggle with their own because sometimes marketing is not in a coach's wheelhouse. They can help, you know, businesses with profitability, and they can help them with their team, and they can help them with multiple things that go on, but they're not great marketers. And so that holds them back from really being able to build their own business. But you vet your coaches really tough. I mean, one of the things you said is, you know, they have to have a minimum of 5 years experience in business coaching. So, you know, it's not for just somebody that, you know, fires up their laptop and says, oh, I think I want to become a business coach, which we see a lot of those.
Yes. On average, we pretty much have between 30 to 40 people that will apply. Mm-hmm. And out of that, we would pick maybe one or two. Just because we're really super selective, because we want to always be value-based. Mm-hmm. Our company, our organization stands for nothing more than support. We want to support the startup and small business community with the resources, the assistance, the coaching, the guidance, the strategic partners, every single thing that they need to be able to grow and sustain and stay in business past the 5-year mark, so that we can decrease that number of 86% of businesses failing within the first 5 years. We want that number down to next to nothing. Mm-hmm. That's our goal. That's what we're working towards. So by creating this collaborative community, we always make sure that whatever it is that company is looking for, and even if they're just still in that idea state, there's something there for them that's going to be a resource that's going to help them grow and thrive. And if we were to bring in coaches that were not experienced and did not know what they were doing, there is no way that we're able to say, we can help you grow your business, even no matter how great the content is.
Right.
The content is one thing, but when you're coaching someone, you need to make sure that you can actually stand up and say, I actually know this because I've had the experience in this.
Right.
And if you can't, you really shouldn't be coaching in that space. I've had numbers of discussions with people that they're like, I want to be a business coach. And I'm like, cool. So tell me your experience. I'm like, cool. So you're a life coach. You're a life coach. So you should just be a life coach, because that's what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Like, stop trying to incorporate business into that, because you know nothing about business.
Right.
Keep it in the life coaching. And I can guarantee you'll get a ton of clients just being a life coach and taking out the business aspects. And you know what? I was right.
Yeah. And they can target businesses, but they need to stay in their lane. And that's one of the conversations I have with coaches a lot too. And a lot of them that have tried to become business coaches through organizations and things like that, I end up working with them because they can't do it. It's not in their wheelhouse. And so one of the things that I try to get people to do in my business is stay in your lane. And even if you are a mindset coach and you're working with businesses, make it very clear that you're not a strategist, that you're not there to help them build the business. You're there to help with the mindset work. You're there to help with sort of the underlying things that people don't really realize go on. And I always want them to be very, very clear to their audience and even to the clients, because how many times have people hired a coach thinking I remember one of my clients way back when, and she said she had invested in Brian Tracy, a Brian Tracy. Well, his really wasn't business building. His was more mindset. And she said, it was good. Like, it changed her mind about things, but it didn't really help her build her business. Like, she didn't have the strategies and the things that she needed. So I think it's really important that people understand there is a difference. And I always say, if you know what to do, if you have everything that you need and you're not doing it, you need a mindset coach. If you don't know what to do, then you need a business coach. And so really understanding that. And so I love that you're doing that and that you're vetting people. I think that's so important. That was a little long-winded. Sorry about it.
No, I love it because we're exactly 100% on the same page. When you're not staying in your own lane, your clients can't find you.
Right.
Your clients don't know who you are or what you do because you're trying to do everything.
Yes.
It's like going to a diner that has a menu that has 30 pages of food. You're never going to figure out what the hell you want to eat because there's too much to choose from. You need to make sure you're staying within that space that makes sense. Now, we touch on mindset, but it's literally for the purpose of making it so their heads don't explode because we're giving them so much information, but we focus in on business development, which covers strategy, which covers systems, it covers infrastructure, it covers all of that, marketing and PR. Then we get into sales. Then we incorporate the mindset into that because now we've dumped all of this other information on them. They need to be able to handle it because it's a lot.
Right.
And they're going to have a lot of mental shifts. So we prepare our coaches to be able to have the ability for those people to have those moments that they're going to, because they're going to have their pivot moments. They're going to have their oh crap moments. They're going to have those moments where they're going to be like, it's a lot. And we prepare our coaches. We train them to do breathing techniques. We train them to do a guided meditation if need be in a cohort to get somebody to calm down. We teach them how to deal with the anxiety attacks. We teach them how to deal with that stuff in an executive mindset way to be able to handle, because there's 20 people in a room. That's a lot. We don't want the room to go completely awry because someone's having a panic attack, right? We want there to be support. So we say, okay, we're going to hold off right here for 1 second. We're going to take a moment and we're going to do some breathing techniques. And everyone in the room does it as in support of the person that's in the group that's having a hard time. So we prepare them to do that stuff for that purpose because it's the overwhelm. The overwhelm is a real thing, especially when you're starting and running a business. We all know it, right? How many times have we curled up with a bottle of wine and hugged a pillow and been like,
which is why I said, bless you that you're working with startups. Because
it's a lot. Yeah.
There are a lot of people out there serving startups and certainly if you've built any kind of business or anything about business, you can serve those people, but I think you have to love it. And I told you at the very beginning, it is not a phase I love. Now I love working with a startup if they come to the table where maybe they've had a business before, or they've marketed before, they've sold, and they have expertise that we can put together. Totally different scenario, totally different situation. But if they come, they've never owned a business, they're just, no skills, business like or marketing or anything. For me, that just drains me. That drains my energy. And this is a really important thing to understand too. And we're talking about not everyone's your client. Who are you aligned with? These are important pieces when you're building a coaching and consulting business or company, because you want to work with people that light you up, the people that pour into your energy and not drain your energy. That's a really important thing for people to know. And I worked with a lot of people in the very beginning that were really not at the stage yet where they were ready, I think really ready for what I felt I could bring to the table. And I felt very unfulfilled as a coach because it was such a long process to get them to the place where, okay, now I really get to help you. And so I realized that very early on. And I love that, that you're working in a completely, and this is why collaboration and all of these things work so well in this industry, because we all have our space. We all have the thing that we're really good at and the thing that really energizes us and lights us up.
Oh, completely. I couldn't agree with you more. Honestly, if it wasn't for our collaborators and our affiliates and our referral partners, if it wasn't for those people, I mean, we wouldn't have a place to send people when they're done with us. We wouldn't have resources that they're going to need, like credit card processing services. publishing for people that want to publish a book. Even something as simple as a bookkeeper or an accountant, and they have no idea where to look. Having those resources makes such a huge difference in the impact that we're able to make on them in this like infancy stage where they really need that help and support. I mean, it's really important to create those types of communities. And I always say, like, you should always have more referral partners than anything else, because people will always refer word of mouth over anything else. That's going to be your first and foremost every single time. You will get more deals through word of mouth advertising than any other form. It's just the way that it is. It's the know, like, trust factor. You can market all day long, but you're still not going to have the same impact as creating these affiliations with people. So just talking to people in like industries or supporting industries makes such a huge difference. And that brings in extra streams of revenue. And I usually say 7 streams, absolutely every time. If you have 7 stream points of revenue that's able to come in, whether that be through affiliate marketing, whether that be through the referral networks, whether that be through marketing channels, 7 streams, you keep 7 streams going, your company is completely self-sustaining at that point.
I love it. And that's one of the things I teach too. It's like, okay, here's your core and now build out. What else can you offer? What else can you offer that your clients are going to need? And this is such one of the values too of working with a coach, and through the years with all the clients that I worked with, was the referral partners that I could bring to them. If they had something that they needed systems put in, I don't enjoy doing that. I don't want to be in there putting in your systems, right? I could have a partner for that. The other thing that you said that's so valuable for people to know, and I see a lot of people do this, is they have referral partners, but they're not making income on that. I am complete opposite. I think the way we must be kindred spirits here. We think exactly the same, because I am all about, you don't just have partnerships, but you have partnerships that pay you. So you do have those different revenue streams coming in. And so what else do your clients need? What can you provide? I don't want to be the expert at everything. I don't want to have everything and manage everything. I would rather just have a trusted partner where we split the revenue and we split that income. And so that's a really important thing for people to know too. That's another way to build out your business without everything being dependent on you. And even for someone like me, where I don't want coaches under me, I want to basically run a very streamlined business, but I still want those other revenue streams and those other things going on in my business. So we're really giving you different ways to build a coaching and consulting business here. 2 different models, similar, but but still very different. So I love it.
Okay. Me too. Like, one of the big things that we do with our referral network, we have them pay a yearly fee, because there's a yearly fee for that. Plus they pay a percentage. They pay a percentage to us for anything we refer to them. Anything they refer to us, we pay them a percentage. So it's like one hand washes the other, but they get listed in all of our channels. So everyone can get access to them. So we're giving them tons of marketing. Some companies, because of the industry, typically if you're dealing with insurances, if you're dealing with attorneys, there's certain places that cannot give you referral fees because it's against the law.
Right.
So what we do is we charge them a little bit more for their listing, because they can't pay us anything, but we can pay them for the affiliate stuff. So anything they refer to us, we pay them for the affiliation, but we charge them a little bit more to be in part of our referral networks, because they can't pay us for the stuff we're going to refer to them. So it's another generating source of income.
I was going to say, she's got another income stream going there.
We have 13 streams of revenue coming into Beacon. 13 streams you've created. Yep.
Good for you. That's amazing. So what's next for you? You've done all of this really in a very short amount of time, which is super impressive, I have to tell you. So besides the thing that I'm sworn to secrecy, you have to follow her to find out what's next for you. Where do you see, what's the vision that you have for your business? Where do you see that going? Because, and I just want to add to that, vision is something that a lot of people don't have. They just, they fire up their business and they treat it like a job and they make some income and they never really know where they want that business to go. Now, I've sold 5 businesses that I've built, and you've sold businesses. And I knew that I was going to do that at some point. Like that was always the plan. How about for you? What's your vision for this?
World domination, right?
There you go.
Right. The ultimate plan is to continue to grow Beacon with really great partners and great coaches. So we want to continue to grow our coaching base. We're bringing on 10 new coaches each month to be able to offer more support. Just because as our collaboratives are continuing to grow, it's growing pretty amply, pretty quickly. So we have people coming in that we need to make sure that we have enough coaches for. So we want to make sure that that's always there. And the majority of what I'm going to be doing myself is focusing in on, the speaking engagements and the PR that actually goes into everything with Beacon. Because I really enjoy that, but I really enjoy getting into the mastermind stuff. So holding a lot of our beach resorts, I actually, I bought an estate because during the pandemic, because that was something that, everyone should do, buy an estate. So I did it. And
best time. Yes.
It was the best time. Yep. So I bought an estate and I'm going to be painting till 10 years after I'm dead, I'm sure. But I have a private beach. So
they have small businesses that will actually come do that for you.
I know, but I'm super picky. I'm like, no, I want it whitewashed. No, I want it whitewashed. Nope. Wait. Nope, leave. Nope, that's not whitewashing. Go away. Let me do it. I'm super picky.
I love it. So do you have a partner in your business? Are you married? No. Do you have a partner? It's just you.
No, I am super happily divorced. I am a single mom of 4. I have a 20-year-old, a 21-year-old now, 19-year-old, 18-year-old, and a 14-year-old.
So she is doing all this as a mom, as a single mom. So that's impressive. That's really impressive. So, Suzanne, I know we could talk for hours, literally. This has been so much fun. And definitely we'll have to connect again off of the air. But I have really appreciate that you've been here. What's a final thought that you would like to leave with the coaches and consultants that might be listening to this podcast?
No idea is a bad idea. But what you need to do is take any idea, put a plan in front of it, and see if it's actionable. And if it is, and you don't take it, that's on you.
Boom. Spoken like a true business coach. I love it. I love it. So thank you for being here with me. I really appreciate it. We're going to put all of your information in the show notes, so you'll be able to reach out to her. She's on Facebook. She's on LinkedIn. You can, we'll put her website and everything also in the show notes. So if you're interested in maybe becoming a coach under her and working for her organization, you can reach out to her for that. Or hopefully you just got a heck of a lot of value from this show today, and you'll be able to take some of the things we talked about and maybe put some new ideas into your business as well. So thank you again for being here. And everyone, you're welcome. And everyone, thank you for, again, tuning into another episode of Expert in You. And if you need help in your business in particular, your coaching or consulting business, then you can go to Carden.com, book a call, and let's talk about what your big opportunity is. And who knows, you may decide you want to work under Suzanne. So you have to have a plan. She said you have to have a plan. So thanks again for being here. Bye, everyone. We'll talk to you next week. God bless you. If you've enjoyed this episode, I want to invite you to go check out a free training that I have at expertinu.us. It is a training that I have on how you can get ultra premium dream clients, scale your business, get more freedom, and really simplify your business and multiply your money. So go check that out. And again, that is expertinu.us. I want to thank you for being here with me this week. I hope you found massive value. Please always leave a comment, feedback, or a question. We check them all. And I want you to go rock your business, and make sure you join us again next week. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.